If you're struggling to grow on social media, but you don't have hours per day to put into creating the perfect content, reading everything you can about the algorithm, using the perfect amount of hashtags to go just viral, and spending all day reading up about growth hacks, then this video is for you. I'm going to break down exactly how you can grow your social media for your brand, your business, or as a creator in just 10 minutes per day. So let's dive into it. Now, if time is scarce, focus is key. You don't want to be trying to do everything and use every platform and try every growth strategy and method. You want to focus in on the couple of things that are going to get you the best results. Now, this goes for the strategies that you use, but also for the platforms. You do not have enough time to be focusing on every single platform. As much as in a perfect world, you've got an organic strategy and a paid strategy, and you're doing YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and Pinterest, and you're optimizing for every single one of them. We're not in that situation. And so instead, I want you to pick one platform that becomes your focus, and everything else becomes a little bit of a bonus on the side. Now, you can still use a tool like Vizard to schedule the content that you post on one platform on every other platform, so it's still ticking over. But for now, I want you to pick the one platform that is going to be most effective for your business. Now, how do we decide on this? Well, we're going to look at a few things. Firstly, do you already have an existing audience? Because if you've already got a bit of momentum or a bit of an audience on one platform, that's going to be the best one for you to grow. It's probably going to be the easiest one for you to grow. It's probably going to be the platform that you understand the most. You're going to have a little bit of an advantage in the algorithm, and that's going to help you out a lot. Now, if you don't have that, maybe you're starting from scratch, or maybe you've been giving everything a try for a while and you haven't really got much of an audience on any of them, try and think about where your target audience is. Now, the second thing to consider is, where is your target audience? Have a think about who you're trying to reach on social media, and then think about where these people spend most of their time. The key word here is most, because yes, you could argue that business people do spend some time on TikTok and they do spend some time on Instagram and Pinterest, but chances are they're spending most of their time on LinkedIn or maybe YouTube. If your audience is slightly older, you might lean towards Facebook. If it's slightly younger, you might lean towards TikTok. If you're trying to get a good middle ground of both of them, then you might look at Instagram. If you're after people who are searching for your content, as in you make sort of tutorial-based stuff, then maybe you're going to lean towards YouTube. And also just have a think about where these people are consuming this content. Because again, a business owner might be on TikTok and on YouTube and on LinkedIn and on Instagram, but where are they consuming the content that you post? If you're an email marketing agency trying to get clients who are business owners, are they looking for tips about their email marketing when they're on TikTok, or are they looking for memes? They're probably looking for memes, and you're probably better off looking at YouTube or LinkedIn. And then the third piece is, where do your skills lay? Look at what your skills are. Are you amazing at writing? Probably should lean into something like LinkedIn. Are you amazing at creating longer form content? Then maybe you look at YouTube. Are you awesome at capturing someone's attention and talking for 30 seconds about a topic and being able to deliver quite a lot in a short amount of time? Then you're probably better off looking at short form platforms. Now, once you factor these in, decide on your platform and make that your focus. Now, once you're clear on this platform, you're going to need content. And this is where people get stuck a lot of the time, is because coming up with content can take hours and hours and hours and hours on its own. By the time that you think of an idea, you then script it, you then rewrite it, you then film it, you then edit it, you then publish it, and you write a caption and you put a title on it, and you do all of this. It takes hours and hours and hours. Instead, what you need is to find a format of content which is easily repeatable, because this is going to remove the friction of creating and posting content. Now, there are a fair few examples of this, and I'll run through them below. Now, the first one is an easy one. If you already produce long form content like YouTube videos or podcasts, then you can take that long form content and you can run it through Vizard's clipping tool, where it will automatically find engaging moments from the video and turn it into clips that you can use on social media. Now, if you don't have the luxury of longer form content that you can clip up, you're going to have to come up with something else. And again, the best way to do this is to find something that is easy to repeat. You don't want to be having to think about coming up with a new idea every time you have to post on social media if you are really stretched on time. Now, one example of this is a social media coach that I saw come up on Instagram, who literally created a series called Instagram Hack You Didn't Know Part 1. And then she'd create Instagram Hack You Didn't Know Part 2. part 3, part 4, and so on. And within 6 months, she went from nothing to 400,000 followers. It was crazy. And it was a very easy piece of content to repeat because she didn't have to keep thinking of a different hook and a different idea for the video. She just had to use the same hook and then add in a tip that worked. Now you can apply this to any niche if you're producing educational content. You can talk about fitness tip you didn't know. You can talk about weight loss tip you didn't know. You can talk about golf tip that you didn't know. You could adapt it to money and talk about finance tip that you didn't know. You can do this for any educational niche. Now, another format that works really well is review style content, where you review your audience and what they're doing and you give them advice. Now, I saw a financial advisor doing this where he called his series Rate My Portfolio, where people would send him their portfolio and he would take a look at it and he would title it Rate My Portfolio 26-year-old construction worker, and he would have their age and occupation on the screen, and then he would break down the portfolio, what's in it, what they need to do better. He would have some reactions to stuff, and some of the people had millions of dollars, some of the people had a couple thousand. And again, you could adapt this to pretty much any niche. You could talk about having people send in their websites and you critique their websites. You could have people send in their fashion and you critique their fashion. You could adapt it to anything. And then the third format that I think is really easy to repeat is reacting to content in your niche. So find popular videos or articles within your niche and then stitch it and give your opinion on it. All three of these ideas can work really well and are very easy to come up with and create and repeat over and over and over. And you want to aim to post 3 times per week. Instagram often suggests that people post at least 10 reels per month if they want to see the best results. So by going for 3 reels per week, you're naturally going to tick over that. You're going to be getting out consistent content. You're going to learn what's working, what's not, and you're going to get better at creating content. There's also not so much time that you're going to be spending ages doing it. Now, we've got our platform sorted. We've got our content sorted. What next? Well, this alone will actually help you grow if your content is engaging and valuable. But it is a bit of a slow process, especially at the start. If you've got no audience and you start posting 3 times per week, you're not gonna go crazy viral anytime soon. Like I say, you'll pick up some reach, you'll pick up some new followers, but it's not gonna shoot up anytime soon. It could over a 6 to a 12-month period, but unlikely to get traction at the start. So what you need here is a growth strategy that will guarantee that you can grow your audience regardless of what the algorithm's doing, because you don't want to be just waiting for the algorithm to promote your content. So with the remainder of your time each day after you've posted your piece of content, or on the days where you don't post any content, spend all that time finding accounts in your niche who already have the audience and the followers that you want, and start engaging in the comment section. Literally just follow these people, scroll through your feed, and start commenting. And I don't want you to leave these generic random comments where you're like, nice post, or I love this, or so true. I want you to actually tell people what you think. If you see a piece of content and you agree with it, tell them that you agree with it. If you see someone post something on social media who's struggling and not sure what to do, give them some help, give them some support, give them some advice, pump them up. If you see something within your niche that's a bit misleading, maybe jump in and give your 2 cents and help push people in the right direction. If you see someone comment a question and it's been a while and no one's really answered it, jump in there and help them. Just genuinely engage like a real person, and you'll start naturally showing up in front of these people who are your target audience because they already follow these accounts. They already see these posts come up. You're jumping in there, leaving something genuine, relatable, valuable, interesting. And some of these people are naturally going to check out your account. And it's not going to make you go crazy viral, but it could help you pick up 5 or 10 or 20 new followers each and every day. And that snowballs, because if you can get 20 new followers a day, that's 600 at the end of a month. That's nearly 2,000 after 3 months. And you add that in with your content, which is reaching new people and gaining new followers. And after 6 months, you could well and truly be above that sort of 5,000 follower mark and getting some real momentum. This kind of strategy is definitely a bit of a grind at the start. In fact, when I started my Instagram account, where I was putting out content that was literally Instagram tips and tricks, in the first 6 months, we followed this plan exactly. And after 5 months, we'd gained 600 followers every single month for 5 months straight. And so we're sitting at 3,000 followers. No post had taken off, nothing had gone viral, nothing had even got more than the 100 or so likes, I think, at that point. We just gained followers by engaging on people's content. Then by this point, we had 3,000 followers that were interested in our content, and one of our posts just took off. And this is because at this point we had enough data for Instagram to understand who likes our content, who doesn't, is it engaging, is it interesting, is it good, are people liking it? And they knew who to show it to, and we just had a couple posts start taking off, and a month later we were at 10,000 followers, just following this strategy. So it does work, we've done it before, and it'll work for you too. So if you build the right foundation, it's gonna shoot up. So first step, focus on one platform that suits you and your audience the most. Second piece is to find a format of content you can create and you can repeat without having to put a ton of time and effort and thought into it. And then third, start genuinely engaging with other content within your niche so you can get in front of the right people. And then the fourth part of this is pretty much just stick with it consistently. With 10 minutes a day, you're not gonna go crazy viral on social media anytime soon, but you definitely can build momentum, grow your audience, start getting new customers, and build a solid foundation. That's it for this video. See you guys in the next one.